Guys, in the morning session, we have extended the previous class project. That is, we have added extra navigation bars. Along with that, we have added extra footer part. Along with that, we added some kind of validations, and also we have included whether the user is logging for only one time or whether the user is not logged in or not. That is what we have seen in the morning session. Now, in this session, we'll try to work with the concept of cookies, sessions, and logout option. Okay, fine. Guys, where you will get the logout option? Is there any chance to work with the cookies and sessions while registration? No need. So when we need to go for sessions or cookies are nothing but trying to store the data, right? When we need to store the data, if we would like to reuse the data, then we need to store that, right? Where we are going to reuse it? Whenever we are trying to work with the login option. Once the user is login, in order to maintain the further pages data, I need to go for storing the data. That storing you can able to with the help of either cookies or you can go with either sessions concept. Okay. So if I go for mlogin.php, whenever the user clicks on login button, I am redirecting to mlhome.php. In mlhome.php, I am trying to get the username and password which are entered by the user, and then I am trying to get the data which are related to the corresponding student ID, and then I am going to check if the result is greater than 0, I can say that the user is exist, and also I am going to check that whether the database password, database ID is matched or not. If both are matched, I am trying to get the permissions from the database. The permissions contains the login information. If login contains the value as 1, he is already logged in somewhere. If it contains the value as 0, he didn't log in. Now he is trying to log in. So based upon that, I have written certain condition here. S login double equal to 1. I am simply redirecting to S already login.php. In S already login.php, you are already logged in. Please log out and then log in using mlogin.php. Discuss it. Okay, so we are going to redirect to salready login.php. We are trying to define that you are already logged in. If he didn't logged in at all, we are trying to update the table of s permission with s login as 1, so that for the corresponding logins who can able to check that. Okay, that is what we did in the morning session. Now what you have to do is, whenever user successfully logged in, whenever you successfully logged in, we have to make certain permissions. What is one thing is, see, for example, I will close this one. Whenever user trying to login, mlogin.php, right? So there is a ID number, I think so, N1804541. The password is Kalyan. Okay, good. I am trying to click login here. Once I click login, it is showing that login success, right? Now my requirement is, I have closed this tab and I am going to open the same link in the another tab. Now my requirement is, do I need to ask the credentials again or do I need to get back to the same page? I need to get back to the same page with the same username and password. That is the reason what we need to do is, we need to store the corresponding data. So in order to store the corresponding data, I can able to use either cookies or I can able to use sessions concept. Okay, before that, first let me rectify this problem. mlhome.php. In mlhome.php, what you have to add here, ma? I think we have to add h.php, right? What is there in h.php? The bootstrap code is there. That's why I added mlhome.php. ML. Now, if I am trying to refresh it, what will happen? You are already logged in, right? So that is called web manager, right? So what I will do is, I will go for the database. I will delete it because in order for the further operations, it is always getting as 1. I am going to make it as delete 0. Okay. If I am going to go for login page, once again N180 541. password. It is showing it is working fine now. Now you did login success. Instead of showing login success, what we can do is, can we display that username, right? Welcome, welcome, Mr. or Mistress. What is the data I need to print? Dollar DSID, or that can be anything. Dollar S name or whatever it may be, right? So, but the thing is, I need to have the data of. Okay, let me print the ID only. I don't need to complicate this. So I want to print the data. So I need to write here dot. What is the variable name? Dollar. Yes, name is there. Dollar S name is there. I can able to access dollar S name. Dollar S name. I am going to make it double quotations. Okay. Now what I will do is, I will try to refresh it. Again you will get error. So what I can do, I can go for here. I will update this problem to 0 once again. Now I will refresh once again. Okay, it is already registration page. So I will go for click here, N180541, and the password is so and so password. Click login. I think I didn't refresh this page. Click here. Login. Yes. Welcome Mr. or Mrs. N180541. Okay. For look and feel, you can able to modify on your own way. Whatever the way you can do. That's it. Now my thing is, once I provided like welcome Mr. or Mr. so and so username. From this point onwards, I need to maintain that corresponding user data in my cookies or in my sessions, right? So I am trying to use cookies for what reason is, whenever user is already logged in this particular browser, and user is trying to enter mlogin.php, I should not provide this page. I should not provide this page. Instead, I need to provide, in place of this name, I need to provide N180541, and in this page I need to provide the password which is already entered by the user, because he is already a login user. And this option you need to provide whenever user selects the option called remember me option. For that case, I am going to use the cookies, and for further sessions I am going to manage sessions concept. So for that, what we can do now, I need to enable the cookies. How we are going to enable the cookies? Whenever user enters, user selects the operation. Try to observe here. User having some checkbox, that is remember me option. In remember me, there is a name called C. That C data I am going to get. That is $C equal to, what's the variable name? Dollar underscore post of C. But thing is, I need to handle this error, because whenever the user is not selected, we need to handle it. So I am going to check for each set of like this question mark. I am going to define dollar underscore post of C. Otherwise, I will simply make some empty blank. I hope you understood this one, right? Now, what condition I need to check here? After updating the data, if my $C double equal to on. So this is all what I explained in the concept of cookies. When the $C double equal to on, I need to enable the cookies. How we are going to enable the cookies? By using set cookie method. What is the cookie name? For example, username. What is the cookie value? Dollar S name. Dollar S name. And how much time I need to expire? That is time plus, after 1 hour of login, I need to automatically close all the cookies. And similarly for, is there anything necessary to go for further? For password I need to display. So password also I need to maintain. So set cookie of user password. What is the password? Dollar yes password. I think it is correct. And the time plus 3600 milliseconds. Seconds sum, not milliseconds. I have set the cookie. Once I set the cookie, this is fine. This I can able to use it for while logging. But also I need to work with the sessions concept. Why? Because in further operations, I need to use all those data. So whenever you would like to work with sessions, what you have to use compulsory? You have to start the session underscore start. How we are going to enable the cookies, enable the sessions by using a global variable called dollar underscore session. Very good. Dollar underscore session of the session variable is again I am taking it as username, or let me take to avoid the confusion some unique name will take so that this name should be used in over all the pages. If there are 10 pages or in all 10 pages I need to use this one because I need to provide at the top welcome so and so user. So let me take some username. Can you give some name? C name. For remembrance I am taking just C name equal to what's the value I need to pass? Dollar yes name. And what about the password? Is there necessary for the passwords? Is there necessary to maintain the passwords for the sessions? No need. Okay, fine. This is the way you can able to create the sessions as well as create the cookies. Now, the remaining process is going to be performed as usual. As usual. Okay. Now, I will go for okay. I have successfully mlhome.php. Now, once it is successful, I need to provide logout option. I need to provide logout option. Where I can provide logout option, ma? Here itself, can I provide the logout option? For the sake of simplicity, I am trying to provide uh, here itself, in the same division itself. I am trying to provide, or else, okay. How it is looking, ma? It is looking like welcome, Mr. or Mrs. I need to provide some space. So we'll work on the look and feel aspect later. Now we'll go for anchor tag. A href equal to I need to go for mlogout.php. mlogout.php. I am going to close for logout option. I am going to close my anchor tag and I am going to close the echo tag. Close the echo tag. Guys, can I write here class attribute? I think I am trying to invoke here bootstrap code. Bootstrap code. Can I use here button? Can I use button here? Yes, you can use. Wherever it is necessary, you can able to go with directly. You can just go for class as button btn hyphen success. Btn hyphen success. That's it. This is the way you can able to do. Now what I will do is, if I refresh again, you will get an error that I am going to refresh this page with value 0. With value 0. Now I am trying to redirect and log in N180.541 Kalyan. Guys, think that I am not selecting the remember me option. So if I am not selecting the remember me option, it won't perform sessions concept. Login, welcome, Mr. So and so with the logout option is there. Don't worry about where it is placing. So the reason why it is getting here, because we have set the minimum width as so many so. After minimum width, I mentioned different data. That's why we are getting here as logout. Once I click logout, here we made some mistake here actually. We need to use the session variable name cname for further process. When the user selects only checkbox, or if the user not selects the checkbox, for both times we need to go for the session cname. But here we mentioned as for only when the user opts for on. So what we can do is, irrespective of whether user is selecting checkbox or not, we need to go for activating the sessions. Okay na? Is it okay, right? I will perform the update operation and I will check for to whether I need to on the cookies or not. When I am going to on the cookies, if he selected a checkbox, meaning that he is asking for to remember me. If he is not asking for remember me, I don't bother about that whether he is asking for remember me or not. I need to display welcome so and so. That's why I need to maintain the variable cname. So that's why I am going to mention outside this block. Hmm. Okay, fine. And it's going to provide the logout page. Let me create mlogout.php. Control S. mlogout.php. In mlogout.php, what things you need to define, ma? I will just copy from here. I need to make database connection. I think in logout page database connection is not necessary or necessary. Necessary because in S permissions table we need to update it to 0. So I need to have navigation bar, I need to have bootstrap code, I need to have database connection, and I am going to copy all these things. And I am going to copy all these things. And once I copied all these things, what you need to check whenever user is indirectly accessing this particular page, what you need to check? $_ session of whether the session is active or not, we need to check. When the session is active, then only I can go for logout option. Otherwise, I should not go for logout option. So then I can go for header of location. Let me rate it to mlogin.php. In further sessions, I will create one index page where you will get all the pages directly. I will be rated to mlogin.php. Okay. Once the session is set. But the thing is, whenever you are trying to work with sessions concept, what is the first line? Wherever you are trying to work with sessions, you have to compulsory start with the session start. Then only it will work for perform. Now, I have checked that session exists. Once the session exists, what you need to do? We need to destroy all the sessions. Before destroying all the sessions, you have to perform one more thing. You have to update count variable, count login variable of the S permissions table. Guys, do I need to go for, just think that, do I need to go for connecting the database and going for further process? Like, do I need to get the data from the database? First thing, is there an asset to get the database from the database? No need. Once he got to this particular location, we can think that he is already having the value as 1. We don't need to get the data. Instead, we can directly update the data. So I think we have written already query here, this one, and in mlogout.php, I will simply write this query. But here, what is the data you have to write? CName. Very good. We have to write here as CName because we are maintaining it. So dollar CName equal to $_ session of CName. Because we are maintaining the session variable, that is simple for us to maintain this data. Now, MySQL underscore query of, okay, I need to make the S login variable as 0, and I need to make its $con, comma, $USQL. Is there an asset to check again? For time being, we'll check that. Okay, then we no need to perform. Next, simply what we can do, we can simply redirect it to header of location. To which location I need to define? Let me redirect, basically I'll redirect to the mlogin.php for time being. mlogin.php. mlogin.php. But the thing is, before redirecting to mlogin.php, what things you need to update? We have updated the database. That is one task we satisfied. And one more thing is, user is asking for logout. Once the user is asking for logout, we need to remove all the cookies. We need to remove all the sessions also, right? How we are going to disable the cookies? We can go for set timeout function. Sorry, set cookie function. In set cookie, what is the cookie name? Uname, okay? Uname. and then I need to make it nothing, and then I can make the timing function as minus some data which is before the previous present time. Similarly, I need to go for set cookie of, these are correct, right? You password, and then timing function minus 60. Let me check before going to further. You name and you password. You name and you password setting. And also we need to destroy the cookies. So I know to go for unset method for each and every session variable. Instead, what we can do is I can go for simply session underscore destroy method. So this is the thing we can do. Okay. So I'll simply go for login. I'm not updating this data. Just check. Simply go for login. I'll try to log in with another thing. Guys, if I am trying to log in with another ID, what will happen? You will get an error because the data what the page is trying to expect, it is always going to expect from the students table, and also it is expecting from the S permissions table, but the corresponding data is not available in S permission. So that's the reason I am trying to work with only S login. I hope you understood. See, what I am trying to explain is, see, whatever the boxes I have selected here, all the corresponding data is not available in the second table. But while login, what it is expecting, it is trying to expect the data from the students table along with permissions table of the updated data like count. But there is no data which is related to the corresponding student data, then we should not allow that. So that's why I am not taking. But right now what I am doing is I am trying to remove everything. I am going to work with only N180541. Okay. Now N180541, the password is, I'll click on remember me, I'll click on login. Welcome Mr. N180541. Now if somebody is trying to access, now will we get an error or will we get, will it be rated mlogin.php? Have you remembered that? In mlhome.php, what we have said, we are trying to get the request from previous button, but this should be avoided, right? So what you have to do, we can work with the cookies concept once again. Cookies are sessions concept. So okay, let me, before that, what we can do is, before checking that operation, let me check whether the login functionality is working or not. Logout functionality. I will go for here modifying the code. How we are going to modify the code, amma? So to avoid major mistakes, I am trying to make it comment. If is set of dollar underscore session variable, I am going to use session of, what is the session name? C name. If session exists, I will go for further processing all the data. If session is not existing, I won't go for further. And I am trying to work with sessions, so I would like to go with session start. I hope you understood why I am modifying this code. Next, I will perform logout operation. You are getting some unexpected, like line number 19, that is mlogout.php. Yes, it has logged off. Once it has logged off, if I am trying to browse, what happened? S login also 0. Now we can check. N180541 password is, guys, I made one modification here. Observe total visitors. Morning, that is not more look and feel for me, so that's why I made as Kalyan. Sorry, password as Kalyan. Click login. Is it redirected? I think it is redirected into again mlogin.php. So we made the mistake once again. So what we can do is, so guys, I made logout and I am trying to go, why it is redirecting? See, without login is the session exists? No. So that's why the code what we have written is incorrect once again. So what we can do is, in order to avoid the problem, I can go for copy this code. I can go for alternate option as or option, right? If either of these thing, if I am getting the request from the button, or if I am getting the request from the, if already session exists, then I can go for the process. I'll go for mlogin.php, n180541, and password is, I'm trying to click remember me, clicking on login. Yes, welcome Mr. So and so, this one. And now try to observe, if I am trying to access this page, what we need to get? mlhome.php on line 10, invalid student ID it is getting. On line 10. What's the mistake here? What's happened? So we made hectic process, I think so. Invalid student ID. So the thing is, once the session is exist, the problem is with the variables of these variables, dollar underscore post variable. So again, it can be again not only dollar underscore post of user password, or it can be again from the session password. So what we can do is, the variable value can be either of them. What we can do, dollar $s password should be getting from the previous page, or we need to take it from the session also. So what you have to do is, here we can able to create the session variable once again, dollar underscore session of c password that equal to dollar $s password. Why I am trying to check ma, for further operations, if I am trying to get, I required once again this entire process, but here I am not getting the data. I'm not getting the data. See, now what we can do is, if I am getting, so do we get the username from the, if he is trying to access from the other pages? Are you getting my point? So he is trying to access as already session is started. At that time, what will happen? It is trying to get the uname. Will it get the uname? Will it get the uname? No, it won't get the uname. Why it won't get the uname? Because this uname we didn't make it as anywhere. We didn't make it as anywhere. So for that, what we can do is, I think we'll modify it as is set of. If it is set, I'll go for dollar underscore post of, what's the name? Uname. Otherwise, what I'm trying to expect, I'm trying to expect from the sessions. Session of, what's the variable name? Scene. I hope you understood now. Similarly for this also, is set of, if I am trying to get the user password from the previous page, I will make that as a password. Dollar underscore post of u password. U password. And if I am not getting that, I am going to get it from the sessions. Session of C password. C password. Okay. Now I will refresh once again. Now you are not getting anything. 1 minute. We'll rectify everything. No problem. for some time. Can we, one minute, I will go for update here. I'll refresh here. It is updated. It is updated. So what I will do is, I think this is green color only, right? I observed that that is green color. So I'll just click here. So it will log out. So it is success actually. So what we can do is we can go for further. So let me try to execute once again. N1805441. The password is Kalyan, and I am trying to select yes, remember me. Click login. It is already logged in, but the logout functionality is not working now. I am going to update it to 0. Okay, here it is, session is there. Don't worry, we'll complete. N1805441, and the password is Kalyan. I am trying to click on login. Login. Yes, once it is logging for the first time, there is no problem. We are bothering about when the user is trying to access the same page again. That is where we are getting the problem. It will be automatically redirecting to you are already logged in. I am trying to expect ml home.php. It is saying that you are already logged in, right? So I need to differentiate the code actually. So then only it will work fine. Can anybody give the solution? So what we can do is we can cross check whether the user is opening the page with respect to session or accessing with respect to login button. Then we can rectify this problem. Even though user is trying to access with respect to session, it is checking for the database data and it is checking for user is already logged in. So now what we can do, if the user is trying to access with respect to sessions, we should not check the condition. We should not check the condition. Where we can avoid that condition, at this particular instant, right? So what I will do if is set of what is the condition I need to check? $_session. Let me think whether I need to check for the session condition or I need to check for, okay, if I am checking for post condition. If I am checking for post condition, post of, I mean if I am getting through the login button, then I will go for executing this entire case. 1 minute. If I am getting the data with respect to login button, I need to compulsory check for S login option. Compulsory check for S login option, and I need to go for if S login is double equal to 1, then I need to go for this process. If he is not getting through post button, then what you need to define? We need to define the else case. In else case, what you need to define? Is there any necessary to define for S login equal to 1 all those things? No need to do because it is already updated. So we can simply skip all this part. We need to define the session also because session is already existed, and we can simply define that up to here. I hope you understood now. What I can do is, if the request is not getting from the login button, I need to define. So I am thinking that the request is getting from the login button. If I am getting the request from the login button, I need to execute the query up to here. If the request is not getting through the post button, then I need to execute this query. If the request is getting through login button, I need to execute this data. For both it is possible. Now it works. Let me check. So I think the value is 1 here. So I will make it as 0. Try to observe. N180541. Password is Kalyan. I am trying to select me as remember me. Click on login. Observe guys, it is getting the data. Now I am trying to copy this code and trying to paste here. It is working fine, right? Yes, it is working. So if the session is activating, user can able to do it multiple times access. But if he is trying to access it through login button, then he has to do the other process. Okay, so that's working. So this is where we can able to work with the concept of sessions. But the question is cookies. Cookies. So cookies where we are trying to use. So for example, if I am trying to perform logout, check for whether it is updating perfectly or not. If it is perfectly updating. So what are the questions or what are the operands that you are trying to perform? You have to make sure that every test case should be satisfied. See, we are trying to execute how many times? Multiple number of times. That you have to check. So we need to go for various cases. Now I have logged out. Now I am trying to go for registration process. Let me go with the first process. N180535. Name is Jaya. Password is Jaya. I think we have to give the names with minimum 5 characters. Password is 123456. Email as jaya@gmail.com. Phone number as compulsory have to go with 10 digits. I am not working with remember option because it is not necessary. I will click on sign up. Registration success. Registration success. Now what the user can do, user click on login option. He can go for N180535. He can go 1 2 3 4 5 6. User is selecting for remember me and click on login. N180535, click on login. Now the user is trying to come back with this particular page. We need to define N180535. So this is the way you can able to access multiple times. Once I access for multiple times, now if I click logout, that should be logged out automatically. That is okay. Now the thing is, when my user is trying to login.php, user is trying to ask for login.php, what you are getting? You are getting empty fields. But we are working with cookies because we need to produce those results here. Produce those results here. This question is already worked in the previous classes, right? So that we can do that right now. So in mlogin.php, where those values? So we have to copy here. Value equal to, I'll go with the question, starting with the question PHP tags, question mark PHP. I'll go with echo. What is the value I need to display? Dollar underscore cookie of, what's the name? Yes name. Yes name. I'm going to close my variable. Is it okay? Don't close. So echo dollar underscore cookie of yes name. Similarly, I need to copy this thing. Let me check that whether it is. So I didn't log out. I didn't log out. I'm just making use of m login. What is happening here? You are getting the entire code, right? So I should not get the entire code. Instead, I need to get the execution of only the cookie part. So I mentioned it in double quotations. First thing. I have mentioned in. I'll go with single quotation. Yes, one more thing, you have to go with that case. Okay, first let me go with this problem. Why you are getting the direct thing C exam hddocs mlogin.php on line B21 notice whether it is producing all the data? Undefined index s name. What is session name? Uname. See, you have to make sure all the remember of all the variables. Now you can refresh it. You can observe N180535. Similarly, I can just copy this code in the password field. I can just paste this u password ma. It is u password. U password. You got. But the question is here. If I click login now, what will happen? Obviously, you are already logged in. That is our requirement only. You know, he no need to log in once again. He will just simply go for further process. Okay, fine. But the thing is, if the sessions are not activated, if I go for here logout, logout page, why you are getting this much data? I didn't refresh. Yes. If I go for logout, you are getting this error. This error is because of there is no uname. Why you are getting this uname? Because we didn't set the cookies. Because we already disabled all, removed all the cookies. So we need to check all that cases. So what we can do? If is set of dollar underscore, why it is not working? Dollar underscore cookie of uname. Cookie of uname. If it is set, I am going to print as echo something. Echo something, right? If it is not set, I don't bother about that. I will just simply make it as empty. Similarly, here also I will check the condition. If it is set, I am going to make is this should be compulsory password. U password and dollar underscore cookie of U password and so on like this. Okay. Now if I refresh it, line 23, somewhere we did mistake because we are trying to write the lot of code. That's I understood. We can go with or else instead of modifying this, yes, because of parenthesis, double quotations are now it's okay. Where it is this one. What's happening? If we set unexpected flower parenthesis on line 23 amma. Extra ఉందా? Hmm? Hmm. Hmm. Very good. Then that same mistake will be happened here also. I'll refresh you. Okay. Now you can observe guys, even though I will go for login.php, it is not getting any data. But if I am trying to access N180535, password is 123456. Click on remember me. When you are going to get the actual data for the catches, for the cookies, whenever you search for remember me only. I will click on login. Yes, it is successful. Now if the user is trying to get the login page, he will get the data. If he is trying to click on login, what will happen? You will get error like you are already logged in. Okay, I don't want to go for that. I will just go for logout. Go for logout. Now, once again I will try for N180535 12345 If I click on login, welcome so and so. Now if I go for localhost mlogin.php, what you will get? You will get empty because user is not requesting for remember me. So this is the case you can able to do. So this is the way you can able to work with the concept of cookies, sessions, and logout functionality. So while logout, you need to make compulsory destroy all the variables and you need to make it update whenever you're writing, whenever you're trying to work with specifically conditions. Okay, okay, this is for today's session.